in Chapter 8, tool marks and firearms. Primarily, we're going to talk about firearms. Tool marks is part of a section called firearms example. So hopefully you had a chance to read Chapter 8. So all the stuff that I'm going to be talking about isn't that new to you. But in any case, I highly recommend paying attention and taking notes. Remember, the material that we're covering now is going to appear on our final, which is going to be about a month, a little less than a month from now, huh? Yeah. So we're looking at maybe 4 weeks. So this might be the time to be a little bit more diligent and pay attention. So a tool mark. A tool mark can be defined as a pattern resulting from a harder marking device of the tool forced against a softer object. A tool mark, this is in your book. A tool mark can be defined as a pattern resulting from a harder marking device of the tool forced against a softer object. Stop and thinking about that. It seems intuitively correct. You're going to have, in order to leave a tool mark on a surface, the tool making the mark is going to have to be a harder material than the surface. For example, it would be a rare piece of wood that would leave a tool mark on a steel surface. Okay? Could be pretty difficult. However, the other way around, a piece of steel can easily mark the surface of a piece of wood. Tool marks generally come when we have breaking and entering, pry bars on windows and doors, channel lock pliers on doorknobs. These are a couple of very common ones. Okay, a hammer hitting a lock. Tool marks can have either class or individual characteristics. Sometimes they can have both. Okay. The basic shape and size of a tool is certainly a class characteristic. All right. For example, a screwdriver. If a screwdriver was used to pry open a door against a, say, aluminum or a wood jamb, it'll leave tool marks, and generally it'll leave impressions that will mirror the size and shape of the screwdriver. Those impressions can be compared against a set of screwdrivers to eliminate ones that do not meet the same shape and size as the tool that was used to make the marks. So you put it into a class, a smaller group of the population. Okay? All right. As a rule, the individual characteristics are usually caused by stria. And stria is one. Okay. I'm sorry, could you repeat that? What is stria? What is stria? Striation. Stria. How do we define stria?
Parallel scratches on a harder surface.
Yes. Parallel scratches on a surface. Okay. It's called stria. And we'll be talking about those quite a bit today because it becomes very important. Actually, both impression and stria marks are very important important in firearms identification. Okay. Okay. A lot of times, tool marks cannot be removed from the surface, so we would photograph it, probably draw a diagram, and make castings. And remember, we did a few of those earlier, or a few weeks ago. I used that brown material called microsil, and I made some casts. Yes, sir.
Yeah, we're gonna bust the market.
Are we what?
Should we already do that?
Are we going to what?
The pass, are we gonna work out?
Yes, but not today. Hopefully we'll do it on Thursday. Okay. Okay. So casting is an important element. We talked about that. We showed it a little bit, so we saw that. Generally, you would then, once you made your cast, you get your cast from the crime scene or from the object, and then you have to make test marks. So if you have a tool and you have an object or a cast of an object that the tool marks are made, and you want to compare them, the only way to do that is to make test marks in another material. Okay, and a caveat here. One thing you always got to remember, and something you should remember, at least for the next month or so, is you never, ever put the tool in the mark to see if it is the same. Okay, yes.
To see if it's what? The same.
Yeah.
When you test the markings on another particular material, does it have to be the same material that you found the marking on a crime scene? Like I said, I found it on steel. Should I be testing the same on steel?
No, I'll get into that in just a second. But the answer to your question is no. What did I say? Oh, never put the tool in the mark or next to the mark or touches the mark or anything to do with the mark. You keep them separate. All right? First of all, it's very good in court to be able to say that you did that. And also, you don't run the risk of contaminating the mark with the tool itself. Okay, so you never, ever put the mark on the tool, suspected tool, in or next to the mark to do a comparison. Okay, just something, and I don't know if that's even mentioned in the book, but it should be. Okay, so you have the tool mark, and you have a suspected tool. You have to make some test marks. The material of choice to do this is generally lead sheet. So all crime labs have sheets of lead, and you take and you put tool marks into this lead, and you have, and it's actually pretty difficult to do properly. It takes a lot of practice, because if, say, somebody's using a pry bar, a screwdriver is a pry bar, you have to know the angle that the tool is being used against the door jamb. Also, how much pressure you're putting into it, because the angle and pressure will change your test marks. So a lot of times you may do 50 test marks trying to duplicate exactly the mark as left by the tool itself. And so that's a very difficult thing to do. So the angle and pressure